This thing going. Boom. Ayo, que paso? It's your boy, Octagon Jones, here on MMA Island, giving you the first ever episode of The High Tide with Octagon Jones, a.k.a. Slick Diaz, your host with the most. Doing a lot of hand signs. I'm feeling energetic. Wonderboy Thompson on the beat. But to give you a little introduction on what High Tide will be, it's basically a short, we're aiming for maybe 15 minutes an episode where I just, see what came to shore this weekend in terms of UFC developments and who beat who and what this means and yada, yada, yada. It's a post-event reaction type breakdown situation that we got going on. So before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to go follow me, of course, at Octagon Jones on YouTube, as well as Twitter and Instagram. Surf's up, I guess. Tide's high. I don't even know what the terminology is for that, but it seemed apt. I'm not a very coastal guy, but I am a loyal island inhabitant, so I'm doing my best here, trying to work with what I've got as far as naming conventions, and you've heard enough. So we are here basically to talk about UFC Vegas 35, which happened this last weekend, on the Saturday before Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. What an event that was. We're not even going to get into it, but wow. Shit. So, at least Saturday was really good, right? So, to start the card off, we had a bantamweight fight between 40 or 41-year-old Guido Canetti versus Leo Mana Martinez out of Metro Fight Club. Rest in peace to Sal Solis. But Mana got it done. He, was pouring it on with the volume and the good shots. It was a close fight. It was a good fight, and I look forward to seeing Mana get back in there. He's a great representative for that team, and for a UFC debut, it was great. My dog might be freaking out in the back. Anushka, please stop it. We're working here. Is that okay? All right. Sorry about that. Next, we had a featherweight fight, Jamal Emmers versus Pat Sabatini. This one was fast and, high-paced and crazy, just all over the place. Once they got into the grappling exchanges, Jamal Emmers looked like he was winning the grappling exchanges, getting a hold of his leg, but then once you start playing the leg lock game, it's 50-50, as Ryan Hall would say. It's a 50-50 game, so, up until the second he lost, he felt confident, and then, he got his knee tweaked really bad. Pat Sabatini comes out with the comeback victory in the first. It was really impressive stuff. Next, we had Vanessa Demopoulos taking on J.J. Aldrich in her UFC debut. It didn't go her way, but I look forward to seeing her next fight. J.J. Aldrich looked like, she's elevating her class every time she walks in there, which is good. You can see the growth with J.J. Aldrich, and she gave a very technical performance, a smart performance, and a winning performance. So hats off to J.J. Aldrich. Next, Dustin Jacoby, the Hanyak, knocking out Darren Stewart in the first. This guy is the kind of guy that people will continue to underrate until he just, kicks down the door. So I don't know what Dustin Jacoby's ceiling is as far as the elites in terms of MMA in that division, I think he just fights in light heavyweight, but we'll see, because his kickboxing prowess is definitely no joke. The dude is a problem on the feet for anybody. Next, we had Sam Alvey and Wellington Turman. Sam Alvey will be on the UFC roster until he's 65 years old. Him and Dana White are apparently golf buddies or something, but Wellington Turman walks away with the decision. There was a lot of penalties, and there were 2 points taken away in a row for Wellington, but he still ended up getting the nod. Sam Alvey was very upset, told the refs to expletive his expletive, so make of that what you will, fill in the blanks. But yeah, so that one, we don't have to talk too much about. Next, Abdul Razak Al Hassan with the crazy fast first kick thrown KO of Alessio Di Chirico. We are witnessing a high kick curse that is being transmitted to and from each opponent to their next opponent from the. It's look, basically the story here is Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Wonderful performance, great KO. You know, I'm pretty sure he got a bonus. Alessio Di Chirico, look how they massacred my boy. I was very distraught, very upset. But besides that, not rooting for this to happen, but as if we're talking about this curse that's going on, Abdul Razak Al Hassan to lose his next fight via head kick, high kick, whatever I said, because Alessio Di Chirico knocked out Joaquin Buckley with a high kick in his most recent performance before this, and then before that, Joaquin Buckley knocked out Impa Kasanganay with one of the best, craziest knockouts you'll ever see with the a head kick. So the thematics are strong with this one. But yeah, great performance for Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Let's hope that I don't really know what to say about that. I don't want to hope. People. MMA is a weird game, right? You can't I was having a conversation about you shouldn't really, you can't, being a fan of MMA is different from being a fan of football or basketball or whatever, because the physical implications and consequences are much more dire and drastic. So I don't. We'll just see what happens with the curse is all I'm gonna say. Ma'am. Alright. That was it for the prelims. It was pretty solid prelims. A lot of exciting, stuff to happen, but you go, whoa! But then we get to the main card. And this was basically the Ultimate Fighter showcase. It was, we had 3 Ultimate Fighter fights, I believe. Yes. And then we also had Kevin Lee and D-Rod, Mahmoud Muradov versus Gerald Meerschaert, GM3. And then, Edson Barbosa and Giga Chikadze, the main event. So, I guess let's get into it with the first fight on the main event, or on the main card, excuse me. I got a little tongue twisted there for about a minute straight. So, Mahmoud Muradov, Gerald Meerschaert, they were just fighting, back and forth, boom. GM3 does what he does best. Gets hit a little bit, comes back, finishes the fight. So, GM3, a walking legend, a deity, in MMA terms, unfuckwittable, as, some may put it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the Big Island channel. Excuse me, Chris. Anushka, no! I gotta figure out something. She is, high maintenance, and I didn't want her being loud out there, so I thought she might be quieter if I brought her in here with me. First time, we're getting the hang of this new setup. So yeah, Gerald Meerschaert gets a submission in the second round. The dude's got almost 30 submissions or something crazy like that. Let's see, just real quick. Oh no, never mind. Oh no. One second, my connection is finicky. There we go. Thank God. Next, we had Andre Petrovsky take on Michael Gilmore. A great fight. He ended up getting the finish in the third. Gilmore just couldn't take it anymore. Petrovsky ended up looking great in his UFC debut. He's coming off of a tough loss, tough TUF loss, but he ended up looking good at the expense of one Michael Gilmore. So we'll see what happens with, as one of my close friends puts it, the evil Julian Marquez. Andre Petrovsky's got that big strong beard and bright eyes and dark hair, so we'll see. Next we had Kevin Lee versus D-Rod, and this one honestly was the people's main event a little bit. I mean, everyone loved Edson and Giga, and of course everyone was talking about that, but everyone was really excited for Kevin Lee and D-Rod, and everyone was really split too. Kevin Lee ended up being the favorite, and the underdog ended up winning. D-Rod gets the decision over Kevin Lee. We're just gonna have to deal with her trying to take my entire door down. Sorry. It's not that bad. It's some ambiance, right? Yeah, D-Rod ended up looking good. Kevin Lee is left to pontificate upon where he is in his career and what he needs to do to move forward. So we'll see what is next for Kevin Lee as far as like what decision the UFC makes and what he feels he needs to do. Next, one of the brightest young prospects in the sport, if you ask me. As soon as I laid eyes on him, I knew he was going to be one of my favorite fighters. Ricky Turcios takes on Brady Highstand in the Bantamweight Ultimate Fighter finale for TUF 29. And Ricky Turcios and Brady Highstand put on a hell of a fight, a war. And Ricky Turcios walks away with the decision. I was very excited, couldn't be happier for my guy. Brady Highstand has a bright future as well. The dude is talented. Great fight. I was enthralled. He's always in exciting fights. So next we have Brian Battle and Gilbert Urbina, duking it out for the middleweight Ultimate Fighter finale. See who walks away as the Ultimate Fighter. I was riding with the underdog here. I was rooting for my 956 boy, my Texas guy. Both were great underdog stories though. So Brian Battle, last pick in the show. We've seen that a few times before, but and then Gilbert Urbina gets knocked out in the semifinals, right? So he's not going to be in the finale. So it's going to be Brian Battle versus Trayshawn Gore. Trayshawn Gore gets an injury after the end of the show, and he can't fight in the finale. So they call up Urbina to come do the job. And I was forced to pick between two underdog stories, right? Because I'm a sucker for him. So I was like, I got to go with my Texas guy. But Brian Battle gets the second round submission. Ended up looking good after Urbina had him in trouble. Urbina, was doing well the first round, and then Battle found a way to call it quits on that. Say, no more. I'm just going to end it. This is my fight. Thank you for participating. But yeah, it was a tough one because I was really rooting for my guy Urbina, but what are you going to do? Just give me 5 more minutes and we'll be done. I don't know if y'all could see her. Maybe I'm blocking it, but she's like, never mind. And in the main event, right, we had Edson Barbosa taking on Giga Chikadze, a kickboxing showcase, right? Striker versus striker. Who's the best striker in the UFC was the rumblings going into this fight. Edson got Giga a couple good times with a leg kick, and I think he stunned him maybe once, but for the most part, it was the Giga show. I mean, talk about a breakout performance. He ended up getting the kind of flashy, exciting KO in the third. I mean, talk about making a statement, like a real statement. So, Giga Chikadze now ranked 8th, and he's unhappy with that. He feels like he should be ranked higher. He's calling out the likes of Max Holloway and, people of that stature. So, him being ranked number 8 in the top 15 is, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know where you think he should be ranked. I would get into that, but I'm trying to keep these short. But yeah, that kind of wraps it up. UFC Vegas 35. This is just a recap show, so we're not going too deep. I'm just giving you the info in case you want to, sit back and think about what happened this weekend, or you didn't get a chance to see it. This is the show for you. Make sure to like this, subscribe it, share it. I'm sure your mom would like it. But yeah, next week I'll be back on Tuesday, hopefully, with a recap of UFC Vegas 36, I guess, Brunson versus Till. So until then, I've been Slick Diaz, Octagon Jones. You've been a wonderful audience. If you're there at all, peace. Thank you. Boom.